Graham Button, could I ask you please, the fellas down there at that truck table, if they could just sort of stop what they're doing and come down the front while we do this. We need to get it cracking.
All good, Mr. Pack.
That'll be good when I'm home tonight, having dinner, watching TV, with my feet being massaged in my fancy massager machine, and not have to worry about bottle clubs and people asking me if everything's all right. Do you use double-sided or single-sided nippers?
I wouldn't have a clue. I think yeah, we are.
Huh?
We are.
Yeah, you're going to do the presentations, Johnny? You're going to do the presentations, are you?
No.
Why aren't you sitting down?
No,
then?
you're good.
Yeah, why aren't you sitting down then, mate?
Camera.
Geez, I didn't see that. Oh, is that a Citibank? All right, we might kick off.
Yeah.
We'll start the presentations. I'd like to start by thanking everybody for being here, thanking everybody who has travelled some distance to be here. I won't go through names because, quite frankly, I don't know, but I'd like to thank specifically the folks who have manned the front desk and collected the money for the people who have come in. Ricardo, Jeff, Sarah, June, and if I've missed names there, I apologise, but thank you for doing your bit there. For the food in the kitchenette, Lisa, Bree and June, and a special mention to Graham Button, who organised the dinner last night at very short notice, and so I thank him for doing that, and I thank the people who attended that dinner last night. For the registration desk, Scott, Ash and Bree have been kept busy all weekend, and we owe them a special thanks for making the whole organisation here possible. For our traders, Nigel and Renee from Oslo, Sam and Rob from Star Hobbies, Peter over here to the side from VIP Hobbies, Peter Schum from Runway 13, Mars and Aidan down in that far back corner from Canberra Hobby Centre, Bob right here from Kerriby Bottles, Frank and Lee Morgan, who have already gone, but thank them for being here. For the people from ACT Scale Models, for their live streaming to YouTube yesterday and today, and as well as filming this procedure. The people right down in the back corner, right down in the back wall, from Task Force 72 with their 72nd scale radio controlled warships, ferries and auxiliary vessels. And of course all the entrants. We've had over almost 300 models here today over the weekend on display, which is a pretty good turnout considering all the things working against us. So I thank all those people who have put entries in. A lot of work goes into organising a show like this over a weekend. It's almost 9 to 12 months worth of work. So I'd like to thank all the members of the association, the Show Society who let us hire the hall here. There's no other facility in Wagga, unfortunately, of this size and scope. So we're very pleased to be able to use this facility. And of course, the members of the Wagga Wagga, and I almost forgot the name of the club, Wagga Wagga and District Scale Model Association, who will work together to provide everything from the signs, the setting up of the room here, the pulling it down, everything that goes into putting the club together. Kerry and Dick Tennant for the advertising via the Facebook page. It all helps, and it all comes together, hopefully at the end of the year, into a show. Hopefully next year we'll be back here. We haven't confirmed the dates yet, but we'll talk more about that later. Thanks to everybody, and now we will proceed on to the formal presentations. If we can find Scott, who's right behind me. I'll hand over to Scott to make the announcements, and I'll do the presentations. But before we do, you need the microphone.
Thanks for that, Graham. Following on from that, I'd also like to thank the, apart from the traders, the other sponsors that have supported to help make this show run. Outlaw Paints for some prizes, and also for the paint raffle over here. Big thanks to them. Hobbies Australia, Kootamunda Paint Centre, River and Go-Kart Centre, River and Auto Electrics, Revell, the Scale Modeler Supply, Tamiya, Airfix, Italari, Icky Sticky, Casey's Toys, and Wagga District Kart Racing Club for donating the trophies to us that you see here in front of us. So big thanks to all them. All the second and third place certificates have been placed out on the tables. So up here is I'll call out all three, but only first place sort of comes up. So we'll start off with the juniors. In third place we had Scott Pratt with the Messerschmitt. Second place was Kyeamba Pratt with his Zero Fighter, and first place was Scott Pratt for the Forza.
When you come up for your, when you come up for your award, please come to and stand about where Fernando is pointing to, so that you're.
And look at the camera up there.
So that.
Okay.
Scott or Kylan? Huh? Kylan?
YouTube.
There's yours.
And then when you've got your award, turn around.
You're Scott? Yep. So you actually get the two because you got first and third. There's yours. There you go. That's right. The juniors and intermediates, we've actually got 1, 2, 3 trophies, so we'll call up the 1, 2, 3. But then once we move into the seniors, we'll call out the 3, but just first place will come up. So in intermediate civil is the next category. Third place, actually got 1, 2, 3 actually. Joseph Powsick. He's got all 3. Yep. And this category was sponsored by Frank and Lee Morgan, and the previous category was sponsored by Runway 13. Next, there was only one in this class. That one actually goes back to Joseph. Just come and get your certificate as well. And first place in the intermediate military, sponsored by Star Hobbies, and they've also provided a prize as part of their sponsorship as well. Goes to Sarah Smith. Next we have intermediate other. Third, Sarah Smith. Second and first, Joseph Powsick.
Joseph.
Now, as an extra for the kids that come along, I'd like to call back Alex, Sarah, Joseph, Scott, Kylan, Lachlan, and Owen. So they get one of that and one of these each from runway 13. And also take a lucky dip in there and pick your kit out of there. So we'll just grab a kit there as well.
Do they want one of these? They're just sponsored ones.
Yeah, that didn't matter. And you can bring them all back next year and put them back in the show.
Work here. Get together.
Well done, kid. Right, now we'll move on to the big boys, the trucks. First, we've got the bobtail bonnet.
Bob,
Third place, Steve Bazija with the Mac R700. Second place, Jason Prince with the R model. And first place, Steve McQueen with his T900. Steve McQueen here. Oh, yeah, here he comes. In short.
Thank you very much.
you can go now.
We'll move on to bobtail cutover. Both these two categories were sponsored by Oslo Model Accessories. Third place was Steve McKean with his Transstar. Second place, Jason Prince with a Peterbilt. And first place goes to Tim McCarthy for his Transstar.
Way to go.
Open trailer. Next, we move on to open trailer, sponsored by Kyeamba Paint Centre. Third place, Steve Bazija with his W900. Second place, Warren Knott with a Mac. And first place, Warren Knott with his Man. Yep. Yep. Next one, we're going to closed trailer, sponsored by Star Hobbies, and they've also provided a prize as well. Third place, Gary Walker with his Kenworth. Second place, Gary Walker with a Peterbilt. And first place, Steve Bazija with a Peterbilt. Next up, we move on to Rigid, sponsored by Hobbies Australia. Third place, we had Warren Knott with his auto car. Second place, Gary Walker with a Kenworth. And first place, Tim McCarthy with a tipper. Next, we've got multi-combination, sponsored by Oslo Model Accessories. Third place, Steve Dow with the Kenworth. Second place, Steve Dow with the Titan. And first place, Tim McCarthy with his SAR. That's it. Well done to all the truck guys. Next, we move on to the cars. First one is pre-1950, sponsored by Frank and Lee Morgan. Third place is Alan Johnson with the Speedster. Second place, Dick Tennant with his Roadster. And first place, Neil Witt with the Highboy. Next up, we move on to Cars 1950 to 1969, sponsored by Kyeamba Paint Centre. Third place, Alan Johnson with a VW Beetle. Second place, Dick Tennant with his Impala. And first place, Chris Cole with a Porsche. Next up is 1970 to 1989, sponsored by VIP Hobbies. And also, by the way, every model in the category was very, very close. All the judges had a tough time judging. They're all very, very close, which is good to see. Third place in this one, there's actually a tie. They couldn't break it. So equal third place was Dick Tennant with a Mustang and Chris Coots with his Beetle. Second place, Mark Harmer with a Challenger. And first place is Steve Bazija with his Aerovet. Cars 1990 to 1999. There was only the two, sponsored by Hobbies Australia again. Second place, Jeff Crowley with his Eclipse. And first place, Neil Witt with a Mustang. Next time we move on to Cars 2000 and later, sponsored by Tamiya. Third place is Alan Johnson with his Mustang. Second place was Scott Ratman with his 370Z. And first place, David Muir with his Volkswagen. Move along to light commercial, sponsored by Frank and Lee Morgan. Third place, Kevin Fricker with his Ford pickup. Second place, Brian Little with his Falcon Ute. And first place, Brian Little with his F100. Move on to vans, sponsored by River and Auto Electrics. Third place, Steve Bazija with his Street Fighter. Second place, Todd Edwards with his HJ van. And first place, Dick Tennant with his Hippie van.
Das Auto!
Move on to cars, competition cars, pre-1980, sponsored by the Wagga District Kart Racing Club. Third place, Paul Deruvo with his Lola T70. Second place, Chris Coots with his Gasser. And first place, Chris Cole with his speed car.
Thank you.
Now the last one for the cars is competition cars, 1980 and later. Third place, Todd Edwards with his Peugeot. Second place, Scott Ratman with his Subaru Impreza. And first place, David Muir with his Formula V.
Next.
Move on to motorcycles now, sponsored by Wagga Kitchen and Wardrobe Centre. Third place was Chris Cole with his BSA. Second place was Scott Ratman with the Suzuki Hayabusa. And first place, Scott Ratman with the Ducati Superleggera. Cheers. Move along to some military. First one, we've got Military Diorama, sponsored by Kyeamba Paint Centre. Third place, Andrew Evans with Broken Down. Second place, Andrew Evans with the Military Transport. And first place, Paul Lohman with his BTR 60. We'll move along to military wheeled vehicles, sponsored by Italari. Third place, Neil Witt with the Kyeamba wagon. Second place, Peter Pappas with the Jeep. And first place, Paul Layman with his SAS Jeep. Next up, we've got military tracked Axis. Third place, Ken Odegaard with his recovery vehicle. Second place, Chris Lehman with a Berghetzer. And first place, Chris Lehman with the Panther. You good? Next up, we've got military tracked Allied vehicles. Third place, Chris Lehman with his T-34. Second place, Kevin Fricker with his USM4. And first place, Paul Lehman with his Lloyd carrier. I've got the last of the military categories is under 135th scale. Third place, Chris Lehman with the Nashorn. Second place, Cameron Harvey with the M3 Stewart. And first place, Chris Lehman with his Sherman. Move on to the planes now. Helicopters, Earl Rotary, sponsored by Airfix. Third place, Terry Olfen with his Huey. Second place, George Murphy, also with a Huey. And first place was Chris Lehman with his KA50. Move on to planes, 1 to 72nd and under, sponsored by Airfix. Third place, Peter Davis with his B-52. Second place, Cameron Harvey with the Lancaster. And first place, Peter Davis with his C-130 Herc. Move on to planes, 148 propeller, sponsored by Hobbies Australia. Third place, Cameron Harvey with his P-38. Second place, Jake Tennant with his Bearcat. And first place, Peter Von Hoff with a Beaufighter. Next up, 148 jet propelled, sponsored by Cootamundra Paint Centre. Third place, Greg Buckley with his SU-22. Second place, Greg Buckley with the Phantom. And first place, Andrew Evans with the Warthog. Move on to planes, 132nd and larger, sponsored by Hobbies Australia. Third place, George Murphy with his P-40E. Second place, George Murphy with the Texan. And first place, Hans Goebel with the Mackie. Move on to our other categories now. First up, we've got the ladies category, sponsored by Star Hobbies and Runway 13. And there's also a prize to go along with this as well. Third place, Marissa Christina with a Mecca Ariel. Second place, Renee Martin with the Peterbilt, and first place, Renee Martin with the R Model Mac. Huh? Renee Lowe, sorry. Oh, sorry about that. No, thank you. Maritime Now, sponsored by VIP Hobbies. Third place, Ken Odegaard with the landing craft. Second place, Chris Lehman with the Bismarck gun. And first place, Hans Goebel with the Pegasus. Other diorama, sponsored by Cootamundra Paint Centre. Third place, Dick Tennant with No Tragedy. Second place, Dion Smith with Hulk. And first place, Andrew Evans with the Burst Water Main.
Sleeping the night before.
We'll move on to figures, sponsored by Kyeamba Hobby Centre. There was an equal third place with this one. Equal third place, we had Andrew Evans with Arnie, and also Paul Lehman with the Grenada. Second place, Peter Davis with his Ukraine Must Prevail. And first place, and we've got a little prize sponsored by Kyeamba Hobby Centre. Thanks, guys. Goes to Dion Smith with Wolfman. Yep. And don't run too far away. Next up is Scratch Built, sponsored by Kerry Models. And first place goes to Dion with his drop bear. Moving on to miscellaneous, sponsored by Kerry Models. Third place, Andrew Evans with Bumblebee. Second place, Taylor Chamberlain with the Millennium Falcon. And first place, Dick Tennant with his Fergie tractor. Next up, we move on to the Gundam class, sponsored by Canberra Hobby Centre. Second place, Marissa Christina with the Wing Ariel. And first place, Marissa Christina with Sazabi. Station sort of the musters here.
Yeah.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 3 and 4. So it's these ones. So that's the bike. So next we move on to our special theme muster categories. Our military muster category this year was World War II, sponsored by Star Hobbies. It has also provided a prize to go along to the winner as well. Same again, there was an equal third place with this again, to Ken Odegaard with his half track and Paul Lehman with the Panther. Second place was Andrew Evans with his Panther, and first place was George Murphy with the Thunderbolt. Our truck muster this year was European, sponsored by Hobbies Australia. Third place was Ken Odegaard with the Busing. Second place, Scott Rapman with the Volvo. And first place, Alan Johnson with his Iveco. Our car muster this year and bike was also both sponsored by, was Italian theme. It's a Lari.
What are you going to do?
That one's going to be the bike. That'll be the car. Oh,
So this one's a what? It says car.
that's car or bike. Well, whatever.
Doesn't really matter.
Chris will get that one. You get that one. Yep. So we'll do the bike first. Third place was Scott Ratman with the Ducati GP4. Second place, Scott Ratman with the GP4 D'Anton. And first place, Chris Cole with the Ducati NCR Racer. Yep. Now we've got the car muster. Third place, Scott Ratman with the Alfa Romeo DTM. Second place was Graham Pack with the Lancia Delta. First place was Graham Pack with the Lancia Stratos. Now I'd like to call on Graham Button. We've got a few sort of memorial awards that Graham sort of, as part of those sort of picks around, so I'll call on Graham now. We'll do this. Yep. So we had a past member years ago, 7 years ago, passed away, unfortunately, Rob Burns. He was a strong member and loved by everyone. So we carry a few memorial trophies to follow on for him. There's a junior, intermediate, and a senior award. First up, we'll do the junior award. Goes to Scott Pratt for the Forza. These participants that have selected Graham and a group of others that was very, very close to Rob go around and pick models that Rob himself would have liked. So that's where this sort of comes from. Next up, I've got the intermediate one. Goes to Joseph Powzick with the Monte Carlo. And the Rob Burns Senior Memorial, and the senior one also, the name goes on the perpetual plaque that stays with the club. Goes to Tim McCarthy with his SAR. Just, yep, that's right.
Yeah.
So you can get a photo of that, and then we'll get that one back. You'll do this one. Next up, we have the Reece Crossgill Memorial. This was a trophy that Rob started at his NNL show years ago. Reece was a very long time modeller that a lot of people know, carried up. So it's just another one to remember the stalwart of bloody modelling as well that Reece was. This year, the Reece Crossgill Memorial Award goes to Steve McQueen with his SAR. Yep. He's with short legs. We'll get you a plaque for that.
Yes, the sticker there.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Well done to those three there. And Graham also has another three, and I'll just hand him over to you for that. No? Only one, is it?
Yeah. This is just a trophy that I've. Okay.
No, just close again.
Close enough?
Yeah.
Just a appreciation for everyone for turning up. This is just a trophy that I decided to pick a winner that I like the best. So can I have what's his name? I forget his name. Timmy, can you come up, please? Yeah. And can I have Dion come up, please? Dion Smith. That's just my choice. Right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. So just before we start off our last sort of the major show awards, another couple. We'll draw the door raffle. So who would like to volunteer to pull out a lucky ticket? Tickets are in the gold box here. So first prize is the truck kit. Second prize was the car, the half track. First to fourth. Well, the lucky winner is Steve B. Steve Aziza. Second prize, Scott Deno. So some of these probably could be general public, so we've got a phone number there, so we'll, third prize goes to Benny from Canberra. Ben Foley. And fourth goes to an M Quinn. So we'll get in contact with that person. Yep.
Second.
Next up, also from our sponsor, Outlaw Paints, has also provided a few vouchers. And there's a couple of names I'll read out first. So if these people could please come forward. Chris Cole, Steve Babazija, Tim McCarthy, Peter Von Hoff, Scott Pratt, Andrew Evans, and Dion Smith. No, yep. Yep. So out of here, he's got a few vouchers. There's a couple of different prize amounts. So little fella can go first. You pull out a whatever ticket you get. That's the voucher you got. There's $150. Oh, look at that. He's got the big one. $150 voucher. Scott Pratt.
$100.
So see, Lisa, that's how she can like them.
So there's a gift voucher. You can get onto contact with the guys at Outlaw Paints and go from there. So Timmy's got $100. Steve got a 50. Chris got 100. Andrew got 50. And Dan got 50. I'll do them down here.
Sure.
Yep. We'll do that. No, that was right. I'll do one of them. I'll do that one. And there was one more that was selected that he wanted to go to. This one's another $150 voucher for the best Spitfire, and that went to Tristan Burton. Obviously, Tristan's had to go, but obviously, I trust Benny will pass it on.
He's got his name on the back.
Big thanks to Outlaw Paint for those vouchers and the paint raffle this morning as well, a while ago. Next up, we'll move. We've got another two boxes of goodies here, which Ash is going to do a little spin the wheel again. It's 2 mystery boxes. Don't know what's in there. One's a junior box and one's a senior. So we'll do the junior and intermediate one first. So Ash is going to spin the wheel, and whatever's in this box, it's all yours, including the box. Joseph Powsick. Well done. Next up is the seniors. So this is everyone who entered. Johnny DeRoy. Right, now the last couple here. Trucker Show. Tim McCarthy with the W model tipper. Sponsored by Frank and Lee Morgan. Aircraft Show, sponsored by Star Hobbies. Goes to Andrew Evans with his Warthog. We better buy you. Cara Show, sponsored by the Wagga District Kart Racing Club. Goes to Chris Cole with his Porsche 356.
Thank you very much.
Our military of show, sponsored by Kyeamba Models, goes to Paul Lohman with his Cromwell tank. Just that one there. Just that. That goes with that one. That's just that. Next up, we have a prize that's come by from another sponsor, the Scale Model Supply. Is a box full of paint and tools here. This particular model has been picked by the two traders who that stock and sell the Scale Model Supply paint, which was Star Hobbies and VIP Models. They went together and picked this model. And that goes to Peter Davis with his C130 Herc. It's heavy. Next up, we've got People's Choice Award. Scott from the Scale Model Supply has also supplied a prize for this. This award comes from any of the general public comes through the door. It's the model that they like the best, goes into the box, and whoever had the most number of votes got that. This year, it goes to Andrew Evans with Broken Down. That was the general public vote. Just before we do the very last one, our next year our theme categories for next year's one, our military is to celebrate the 80 years of D-Day at Normandy. So anything that goes around that theme can go in that category. Our truck to celebrate the 100 years of Kenworth, and a cars to celebrate the 60 years of the Ford Mustang. So anyway, that's our special categories for next year. Right, the last one, our Supreme Model of Show, sponsored by Hobbies Australia, and also Outlaw Paints put up a $150 voucher as well to this prize. Goes to Warren Knott with his man. Well done to everyone. That concludes our presentations. I'd like to thank everyone for turning up, and safe travels home, and see you all again next year. Thank you. But
Those folks that are helping to fold and flip, can you please
thank you. Yep.
be sure that those that have been read or paint underneath.
What's to go with the rest of the paint?
Taking it.
Take a couple out of it.